So many memories that have been recreated, altered, and revisited, as well as many alternative destinies, and so much death. But these will not be in vain. Soon, our plans will come to fruition. Welcome on down to Major Minor, fellow Dazzlers and new players alike. What is happening? Russell Joestar here, bringing you the last episode of Major Minor. Oh my god, this is the last time we're going to be hearing this theme song on the channel, at least in this game. Let's just take a few seconds to just listen to the theme song one last time together. If there's one thing that theme does, it does that build up amazingly. I'll probably upload this song on the channel because I don't think there's anybody who has it like uploaded. Well, I think somebody had it uploaded like as a game theme, but I mean, just like, you know, whatever. Anyways, for those of you who came in late, a lot happened. We made our way over to Velasquez's castle and got Rayo's backstory. Essentially, he was a being that was created by Velasquez to act as a counter to Nagi and Nami. The whole idea is that a lot of the whole plan that Velasquez and Rayo are writing on is that they found out that when a spirit dies, when someone dies, they release essence, or spirit of some kind, that has energy. And so they found a way to essentially collect that essence into a vessel, which is the player. Joshua is this vessel. What ends up happening is Joshua ends up getting to a point where he gets stabbed by Nagi, and then at that point, Joshua's energy is released. Rayo freezes time, takes some of that energy, and resets everything. So he's got us trapped in a bites to dust situation, basically. We're trapped in a time loop, essentially. But this supposedly is the last time this can happen. And we got the Velasquez, and the long story short, he is actually a scientist from a Galactic Federation of Worlds. They were running low on energy, so they gave world stones, powerful stones that could be used to create like realities, characters, and whatnots. And the task was find the source of energy, and not only that, find enough energy to break out and relink with the rest of the Federation. Velasquez originally created Earth for his experiments and created Nagi and Nami, and used his world stones to give them like a giant spear as their like main thing. Well, what ended up happening was Nagi and Nami eventually asked too many questions, and Velasquez, being a guy unable to keep secrets, revealed what was going on. Nami and Nagi rebelled. They became rebellious children, demigods, whatever, and decided that they were going to leave, destroy the Federation, come back, and finish Velasquez off. I believe their MO is kill everybody, absorb all of their essence, absorb everything, and reset reality with everything sealed off rather than connected, as Velasquez wants. So Velasquez's ace in the hole was him having Rayo just as backup, and then he and Rayo had the whole plot with making Joshua, or Exodus, as Nagi calls him. I'm getting these two confused for some reason. Nami shows up and ends up being absorbed into, I think it's Nami stabs Velasquez. Velasquez stabs Nami with his scepter, which has a piece of the spear within it. They both basically absorbed each other into Nami's sword. And then Nagi shows up and is like, "Hey, I don't want to fight you. Let me tell you my side of the story, because everybody has a story in this, and we'll go from there." So that is where we're at. We are at the final act. This is pretty much going to be the end of the game. I mean, I'll do a video that shows off the different endings, probably. Well, I mean, different endings, not every possible combination, but different endings. We'll just go with that, and some other things. And I got some other videos planned, but let's not stick to that right now. Let's just get going. I think I yammered on enough and held things up. So here we go. All right, here we are. As soon as I enter, I see Nagi standing at a terminal. I don't know what he's doing, but he sure does. His fingers tap away at the touchscreen with expertise. After a moment, the window seems to open. Windows. Actually, they fade into transparency. I'm welcome to the void of space and absolute black. Hey, anybody watch the last video? Anybody remember the last outro video I did? It's littered with less stars than I'd expect. It's kind of beautiful, isn't it? This is the edge of your reality plane. You can see outside, but that's it. You don't have the technology to escape, nor the ability to see this far. You're the first Earthling to witness this. All of those stars, just out of reach. They're the Federation's core worlds, but what you're seeing is only a memory. They're so far away that this is not accurate. That light is millions of years old. We've long since destroyed those worlds. Honestly, I'm a little conflicted. From here they look amazing, but you can see their flaws up close. If I could only see them like this, I never would have destroyed them. They'd still glisten like this today. But every candle dims into nothingness, and there's also beauty in the darkness, something most people hate to admit. He rests his hand against the window and snickers. I guess he's overtaken by nostalgia at the sight. What the universe looked like before his onslaught. Then, a moment later, he turns to me and smiles. I wish I could show you the darkness. Light is not as pure as people think. Those worlds shined with indecency. He takes slow steps towards me. I want to ready my blade, but I don't. I sense sorrow and regret in his words. He wasn't going to attack me, I could tell. I hate thinking about the past. It stirs up rage within my soul. But do you share the same rage as me? We were supposed to create a perfect world, but it wouldn't really be our world. It'd be handed over to the Federation. And what would happen to us after that? We'd likely get discarded, thrown away. We had no purpose other than to listen. At first we didn't know that. We happily made Earth to be perfect. We believed it was our will to do so. But free will did not exist for us. We were only doing what we were told to, even if we didn't know it at the time. We grew curious about our future. That is when we confronted Father. He told us the truth about everything. We lashed out at him in a rage. We should have been free to live our lives, but instead he created us as slaves. He didn't deserve to live in peace. That is why we performed our ritual. We cursed Earth with all manner of flaws. Death, disease, famine, you name it. He'd slowly watch his mission crumble. His scepter would always be out of reach. Nami and myself were able to break free, but we promised that one day we would return. We'd kill him with his will broken. That's when we embarked on our mission. We'd find the leader of the Federation, and we'd kill them, breaking all shackles. They'd never be able to do this again, condemn worlds to their servitude. The reality plane should have been free. The core worlds were the first thing we saw. They were in worse shape than we thought, much more pathetic than Father Ladon. We touched down on one as soon as we could, but we were instantly greeted with violence. It was unfortunate, but we fought back. That's when we found out the truth. Our weapons were plagued as well, likely from the same ritual on Earth. As we killed them, we grew stronger. We could convert life into raw energy. Suddenly, our goal became realistic. We began traversing all of these worlds, and we saw the Federation's true nature. They could barely sustain their own people. The need for new energy was apparent, but none of the planes were successful. The Federation was living its final days. You might think that we're monsters, but our harvesting was a display of mercy. These people were suffering so much. We'd use their energy in a righteous manner. By destroying the Federation entirely, no more worlds suffer because of them. As we harvested, we interrogated. We learned where the Federation was run, and about its leader, the Imperator. We knew where we had to go, the world that the Imperator called home. Only there could we end the Federation. We saved it for last, Exodus. We wanted the Imperator to suffer as well, much like Father would be at the same time. He'd see his Federation fall apart, and when he lost all hope, then he would die. Then the universe would be truly free. Our journey finally led us to his homeworld. We were all powerful, completely invincible. Sure enough, this world was a paradise. They weren't suffering like the other worlds. The Imperator obviously did this on purpose, ensuring that he was able to live happily. We met with him, and had a long talk. He stood by his morals to the very end. His experiments were for the greater good. He was civil, which was unexpected. His experiments led to so much suffering. He was the biggest mass murderer in history. Therefore, his end was very fitting. We killed him. Showed him no mercy. He was destroyed by his own experiments. We should have been satisfied, but we weren't. Was there something else we had to do? That's when we discovered the Terminus. The Federation knew they were dying, so they no longer sat around waiting. They built a ship capable of reality travel. They wanted to visit their reality planes, rather than waiting for them to break free. We seized the ship without hesitation. That's when we realized what to do next. The Imperator was not the true creator. Someone made the Imperator. The Federation didn't spawn from nothing. This entire universe was likely created. But what would hold such power? We needed to continue our harvest. But now we could visit the other reality planes. We were no longer limited to core worlds. The power we could gather was infinite, but we need every bit of it. We'd be breaking out of the universe. Reality planes were nothing to us anymore, and the Federation was insignificant. There was an even greater target out there. So we did what we'd been doing forever. We started harvesting the reality planes. Our power grew with each successful... Okay, so I was wrong. They weren't going to reset everything. They wanted to see who the creator was. What happens when the creation meets its creator? That's when Terra piqued our interest. There seemed to be... Oh my gosh. There seemed to be a massive power present. Not only that, it was rapidly growing. The temptation to harvest Terra was huge, but we decided to save it for last as well. We let the power grow as long as we could. And grow you did, Exodus. Nami and I harvested the universe, but somehow your power rivaled that. It would definitely be enough to break free. That's when we decided to come to Terra. Nami was driven by her lust to kill Father. And who was I to get in her way? She had a desire that was truly her own. She wasn't acting under any influence, so I let her do it, even if she died. Her final act would be her own choice. There's nothing more beautiful than that. I promised I would achieve our goal. That's why we destroyed the tavern. There'd be no need of it anymore. It was symbolic of Father's failure. Its hopes to see a connected universe. We had fun razing it to the ground. And that brings us to where we stand, on the cusp of a universal revolution. I want to find the All-Creator, Exodus. Even if I have to travel forever, even if a million universes get in my way, I will find them and destroy them. I'll use the power of the star. Okay, so he does want to start. Okay, I was right. But he wants to kill the creator and then harvest their power and then push the cosmic reset button. A new beginning for all of existence without the suffering I've witnessed. That's what I was truly made to do. I wasn't meant to make a perfect world. I was meant to make the universe. I wasn't meant to make a perfect world. I was meant to make universes of perfection. And you can help me, Exodus. I mean, like, the guy doesn't really have a bad... I mean, yeah, he's a bad guy. He's got a bit of the sadistic side, but, like, he's kind of like a, what's the trope? Not Blood Knight. More like I think a Knight Templar, I think, is a trope. There's that, or at least a well-intentioned extremist trope, which is a character who commits horrid acts for good causes. So Nagi has some pretty noble, maybe noble goals. I mean, he does want to kill a god, but his whole thing of I want to restore everything and have everything be perfect is not really a bad thing, but it's like the way in which he does that. You know, oh, I'm gonna go kill everything and then reset it. I don't know. That's intriguing. At least it's better than I'm pure evil. I don't want to destroy everything because I'm an evil bad guy. Rawr, you know. Your power is vast and infinite. You don't need to follow Father's orders. His dream is less than ideal. His universe would be overpopulated. It would suffer the same exact way. Then again, you could throw the line from Star Trek V. Essentially, there's a character who learns how to take away the suffering of others. And he does this to several of Captain Kirk's crewmates. And one of them tries to convince him, you know, you should do this. And Kirk is like,
damn it, Bones, you're a doctor. You know that pain and guilt can't be taken away with the wave of a magic wand. They're the things we carry with us, the things that make us who we are. If we lose them, we lose ourselves. I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
It's actually a really good line. When you, like, think about if you lived your life with no pain or suffering. Would you be the same person that you are right now watching this? Welcome to the Philosophy of Major Minor, fellow Dazzlers, New Place. I feel bad for not writing all these ideas down, because I just, like, actually recently do have the idea to actually legit do a philosophy video, but I'll have to review and do a more of a closer reading and whatnot. The manager has been teaching me how to do that, because he's been getting educated from his college on how to do that. Anyways, he'd have you undo all of my harvesting, bring back every world and every life, but that's not such a good thing. They lived a horrifying existence, and some of those people were truly evil. The Imperator was living proof of that. Everything would be connected, sure, but would it truly be harmonious? I don't think that's the case, Exodus. There are worse people than me out there. Father would give them free reign, all in the name of a connected universe. In fact, I think I heard rumors of a group of 3 triumvirs. That's why we destroyed the tavern. There's another way to handle this, something that works for us both. Lend me your energy, Exodus. I'll use it to leave this universe, but I'll close off Earth and Terra. Whatever I do won't affect you. These worlds will live just as they have, but we'll destroy the Ark completely. The worlds will be independent. There will be no more give and take. Terra can become a world of its own. It won't be connected to Earth anymore, therefore no more immigration. This will solve all of Terra's problems. Death will be permanent, Terra will be free. It won't exist solely to hold energy. You can give the citizens true freedom. This is so much to take in, I have to stop and think. So Nagi ended up destroying the entire Federation, but it was suffering, so he saw it as a mercy killing. Now he wants to see who created the universe. The only way he can break out is with all of our power. The universe held in the blades and my energy, but he's offering to leave Earth and Terra unharmed. Only if I can give up all of Velasquez's ideals. I've seen life on Terra, though. It's not good. Was the rest of the universe that bad? Would I be releasing as much suffering as he said? It seems that now, this is a battle of pure ideals. On one hand, I can guarantee Earth and Terra's safety. If we close ourselves off, there'd be no risk at all. The connected universe was risky, but the reward great. It would also give us an opportunity to advance. There's no way I could decide this on my own. And I'd have to defeat Nagi to connect the universe, otherwise we'd have made a defeat of our own and hide. We live quietly, never knowing what we could have been. I can see Nagi tremble with unease. I think he expected me to give in to a speech, but there are so many voices in my head I can't. It's too unclear, too clouded to pass judgment. I understand what's going on. The souls inside are conflicted once more. They don't know what action to take, right? I nod, and I tell him I'm sorry. I need lots of time to think about this. It doesn't need to come to that, Exodus. I have a better way to decide everything. A way to let our true selves decide. He turns his back to me and returns to the terminal. I see him typing away at it much harder than before. I sense he's trying to hide some frustration. Do you really expect to convince me so easily? After all, he turns back towards me. The ship starts to move, pushing me back violently. I almost fall down, but grab onto the terminal. As this happens, Nagi gives me an evil smirk. I have learned one thing during our harvests. People are most open before their death. It's when we put things in perspective. You can learn a lot about another person, especially with a blade to their neck. So tell me, what do you truly want? He flourishes his blade and holds it out towards me. I instinctively do the same and turn facing him. The ship is moving, our destination unknown to me. Nagi keeps that evil grin on his face, ready to kill. Our destination is Terra, a crash course. In fact, we'll hit the castle directly. The fallout will obliterate everything. Let the blades speak of your resolve. If you can defeat me, then very well. You'll make Father's dream a reality. But if you don't defeat me in time, we'll crash, and you'll die. Then I can use your power for myself. He lunges towards me and attempts to strike me down. I meet his sword halfway, locking both of us in place. I gaze into his eyes. It seems we're of equal strength. The blades stay in deadlock, not choosing sides. But there's a part of me that wants to defeat him. As it detects this desire, the gear on my blade spins. As it gives me extra strength, and I finally Ooh, that's right. Because, remember what I said last episode? In Winds of Change, it said that a gear sword, or the Blade of Exodus, responds to the will of its controller. But he dodges with ease, moving to the side. After a moment, he attacks me once more in full force. I brace myself and hold out my blade in defense. When our swords clash, a white light flashes before us. Likely, this is a reaction to my spinning gear. Oh no! The energy is escaping! These blades were not meant to clash. Exodus, tame your gear immediately! I don't listen to him and I attack again. I need this boost if I wanted to win. A white light flashes as they clash another time. But when it fades, I notice new stars glistening. A celestial light show being born from the blade. Think about this fight scene. It'd just be trippy visuals. You have these blades, crashing with each other. Maybe you get some, some light trailing after them, they're lightsabers or something. And then, you just get these flashes and, stars are just, shooting out into... dude, somebody make an animated movie. Animated movie with better writing will be good. Just a celestial light show. That's a good line. The world's long since harvested is finding a new life. Don't be foolish. You don't do all of our work. Then neither of us can achieve anything. He starts to take a defensive stance. He was afraid of our swords connecting further. He dodges my attack smoothly and with ease. I never thought such a man would display grace. Part of me wants to stop the gear, but I don't. Now that I've tasted its power, it's all I need. Perhaps this is what Nagi felt as he used it as well. He continues to invade, so I'll need to switch things up. Flames start to engulf the windows of the bridge. We must be breaking into the Terran atmosphere. The ship shakes. I could use its turbulence. Perhaps I'll be able to throw him off guard. Only a few minutes left, Exodus. I can dodge whatever you throw at me. There's no way you can win anymore. His baiting works, and I attack full force. But this time I do my best to trick him. In the middle of my slash, I lose balance. He thinks the shaking of the ship overtook me. But he was the one who was caught off guard. He tries using my momentary confusion to attack me. Like I did before I dodge him with ease, I turn around and drive the sword through his back. Zetsumeshi. Well, it's not Zetsumeshi unless I actually slash him in half, so... He lets out a grunt and falls to his knees. Zetsumeshi is a reference to Samurai Shodown 5 Special. You can do fatalities in the game. I'll put a little thing up there if you're interested in checking that out. It's pretty cool. It manages to be violent and brutal without going to Mortal Kombat levels, with blood and guts going everywhere, but yeah. He lets out a grunt and falls to his knees. He remains there, panting heavily. The floor fills with his blood, pitch black. He bows his head down, as if admitting defeat. I take a few steps back, my blade left inside of him. The puddle of blood on the floor grows inside. I watch in awe, expecting him to pass out. You should have pulled the blade out, dude. Congratulations, Exodus. You've done it. You've proven how stupid you truly are. He laughs as he races to his feet. It was all an act. He reaches behind himself and pulls out my blade. Now he has both swords, and he wasn't even hurt. For a moment, I regret underestimating him. We weren't so quick to hurt, Exodus. We were both born from world stones. I was surprised you thought it was over. But now I hold both blades. Infinite power courses through my veins. There's no way you can hope to win this. He walks towards me and I retreat in fright, but eventually my back hits a wall. Exactly like the ballroom incident, I look around in panic, trying to find a way out. No one can save you now. In fact, why should I even wait? I can unleash your power right now. A few more steps and he's right in front of me. I know there's no use trying to run. I tried the same thing back when Indy Mayan died, but this time I wouldn't get sent back by Ryo. I often wondered if there was an afterlife. On the off chance that there is, give Father my regards when you see him. And with that, he plunges both blades inside of me. I scream as I'm pinned to the wall of determinedness. My vision falters and I look out the bridge window. The terrain surface grows bigger with each second. That's the world you wanted to help. You could have saved them, you know? I gave you a perfectly valid option. But instead you chose to fight me. You chose a battle you know you'd lose. And they will all suffer for it. Look at those beautiful forests, Exodus. It's the last time you'll ever see them, or any terrain for that matter. Souls will continue to travel here, but they will find only hell, engulfed in fire, burning for eternity. He pushes the blade deeper and makes the gears spin. I can feel my essence straining faster than ever before. He was right. I could have agreed with him back then, but now, my last moments of life will be full of regret. My vision slowly starts to fade. It seems to achieve our power at the last second. At that moment of impact, he'd leave this universe. I'd die, and everyone on Terra would suffer forever. But just like the ballroom, it wasn't over yet. Instead of fear, these events bring hope. Not so fast, Nagi. He quickly turns around to address the intruder. He's caught off guard, as if they've never met. But it's good to see a familiar face after all of this. And a part of me knows exactly what will happen next. Acheron. Do it now. While Nagi is confused, Ryo makes his move. He dashes towards me and pulls out one of the swords. Then he returns to the center of the bridge, smirking. He points the blade at Nagi, completely determined. So, we finally meet. Velazquez's creations together at last. You sure screwed up the first time around. You're the other one, then. You foiled my plans in the ballroom. Brother, do you have a death wish? Nagi turns to me and tries to take the second blade, but before he can get to me, he's stopped. Going somewhere? Double team. Acheron quickly removes the other blade. I fall to the ground, the puddle of my own blood. But they have both swords, free to kill Nagi. They stand there, pointing both towards him. You two, explain yourselves. I demand you tell me what's going on. You're screwed, dude. That's what's going on. Like you did to all the others you've killed? Don't make me laugh. You don't deserve it. Today we erase the scourge from the universe. Ryo lunges forward, stabbing Nagi straight through. The larger man stumbles back, groaning in pain. Acheron, let's end this. Shred a cause of so much suffering, and give a brighter future to everyone. Couldn't have said it better myself. You know, I thought I won the battle, but now I know this is truly the end. He follows after Ryo and stabs Nagi as well. They both look at each other and give a firm nod. They activate the gears and Nagi screams in agony. You fools! You can't defeat me! I am the embodiment of death, a force more powerful than anything. Acheron simply laughs. And I'm the embodiment of life. For the first time, it has prevailed. A new force will govern the universe. A white light engulfs everything I can't see. But I can feel energy. And then the lack of it. Almost as if Nagi was now a part of their blades. Have they truly defeated the man who created Earth? I bring myself to my feet and my knees tremble. I call out to Ryo and Acheron, hoping they're alive. Perhaps their energy was put in the blades as well. But when the light subsides, I see that's not the case. They both turn and face me, wearing huge smiles. They teamed up and done the unthinkable. They destroyed Nagi and ended his twisted journey. It's not over yet, Joshua. Time to unleash your power. Acheron? Just like we practiced. They turn and point both swords at me, but I sense no hostility within them. And it's finally time to bring this to an end. I'd lived the purpose I was created for. I'll do this, for everyone's freedom. No one will get stuck in a cycle of despair. He stabs me with his blade and I feel a surge of power. And I'll do it for everyone's happiness. No more will death triumph over life. Acheron follows suit, plunging his sword within me. Here, with the ability to change history, will bring about a hopeful future. Oh, they're both at the same time. Joshua, we believe in you. They push the blades in deeper, but it doesn't hurt. Instead, I feel power like I've never felt before. Well, yeah, it could be that, you know. So, if you stab someone with a blade, but you intend to give them power, it doesn't hurt them? That's interesting, actually. It's kind of like... Yeah, it's kind of like some of the other powers I've heard of. Well, it's time to change history to make things better. I looked deeply inside, finding out how much power I had. With all of it, I'd create the best possible reality, but how much power did I have and what could I do? This is a culmination of every action I ever took. All of your choices have led to this. Alright, so here we are at the final choice in the game. If you didn't get at least 10 true ending flags, you're stuck. You can only close off Earth and Terra. But since we have 10, we can actually choose to close off Earth and Terra if you want to, but we're going to restore worlds and open connections. This is the true ending that we're about to get right here. I'll put this one in another video. Probably do like a one where you see the bad ending and a one where you see the true ending, just so you guys can get like both sides. But anyways, enough talking. Let's end this. I can feel the power within me. I can do this. I'd unleash every life, every world within these blades, and I'd use the power within me to connect them. A shared universe, just like Velasquez had wanted. I nod at them and as they plead for a better reality. The gears spin and everything fades to white. I close my eyes, embracing what's to come. I knew that my journey had finally come to an end. And I also knew I'd never open my eyes again. When they did, they'd see the future I created. Oh, but when they did, okay. A future built on the foundation of loss and suffering. But a future that would never experience it again, for I was able to return those who perished. By my hands, all the suffering would be undone, and the galactic community would unite and prosper. Epilogue. With the rewriting of history, Terra was different. Rather than being isolated, it was part of a community. Reality planes no longer existed and everyone was free. But this brought with it a host of new dangers as well. Want to travel to the French worlds? I'm sorry, I think I may have misheard. You know how dangerous they are, Indy Mayon? Hey, look who's both back from the dead. Of course I do, Velasquez. But the threats must be taken seriously. We've been tipped off a potential attack. I can't just stand by and watch this. It could injure galactic stability. Surely I can request a short leave. Nobody remembered... Wrong voice. Nobody remembered what Terra was like before the change. Nami and Nagi were wiped from the annals of history. But so too would the child of Exodus be forgotten. For death and suspension meant losing more than life. Velasquez assembled a small task force he could rely on. They'd help protect Terra's standing in the galaxy. But so much had changed, and things were different. People who were once close might not even meet. And what does your protege think? I can't force them into this situation. They need their input as well, Indy Mayon. Of course. Indy Mayon turns to the side and calls for his partner. His input was just as valuable to... I forgot I'm doing that epilogue voice. Indy Mayon is correct, my lord. This threat's not like the others. It's not just Terra that would be affected. I would humbly request our leave as well. I am in no position to order you around, but know that we could save many lives. Velasquez strokes his chin, deep in thought. I could easily send our ambassadors. Diplomacy not avert this crisis? I'm afraid not. And nobody could know that we left. It'd be off the books. Secret. Subterfuge, some would say. Ruling Terra required more care than ever before. One decision could send ripples across the galaxy, and Velasquez's decision were always under scrutiny. Every world was watching each other. No one was alone. Are you sure you could keep this a secret? I'd hate for our own world to suffer. Our reputation is special to me, righty? I'm confident in our ability. Very well, I trust you. Tell me more about this threat. I'd like to know the scope of it all. Velasquez and his task force focused on galactic issues. His ambassador, however, handled things much smaller. They represented Terra in the Galactic Senate. Issues such as trade and immigration were their concern. They want to send us more refugees. Have they not already taken all we can? I don't know if I agree with this. Like, who is this dude even? Like, Like, I get that he's important, like, he's kind of like Velasquez's, like, right-hand dude, but I never really understood, like, who they were. They're kind of like Daz in that they're not really around. They're kind of just there. Anyways. But the people of Albion Prime need help. Their crisis is our opportunity, Dusk. This is where we can afford the barter. What do we need from them? Besides, when we come off as greedy? Of course not. It's our decision. We'd be far from the first world to do it. And their local export sells for a lot. Do you think a tithe would be acceptable? That's exactly what I was going for. Open doors to Albion Prime for a price, we sell our goods and our economy booms. We can't just offer our shelter for free. People would take advantage of us. Velasquez can have the final say. Very well, but you can't be forgetting. Our trip to the Senate is approaching. We need to handle this in a swift manner. Yeah, I heard you the first time. Why is my CPU going up so much? Anyways, I'm packing all my stuff next week. I hope they like our ideas this time. Every year, the Galactic Senate would gather. They'd share ideas and vote for the betterment of all. Meeting on core worlds, they held deliberations. But it wasn't just larger things that needed ruling. Every town on Terra had an elected governor. They were given enough power to rule on their own. This was so Velasquez and his team could relax. Managing their galactic standing was more than enough. A motion to decrease the price of produce. I wasn't aware we were overcharging. What do you think we should do? It might not be expensive to you, Father, but not everybody has the same standards. There are people who are struggling on Terra. I'll lower it, but not by too much. We don't want to sell ourselves short. Should we use the other towns as a guide? That's a great idea, my son. Aww. Would you be willing to take that trip? We'd be able to price more competitively. I'd love to do that, actually. I get to visit Kayleen in his home. I haven't seen him in a very long time. Very well, then it's decided. But there's no need to leave just yet. I have quite a few motions to look over. I mean, he's still rolling his, like, ragtag slave clothes, but I guess art's expensive. Many were pushed apart in unexpected ways, but thanks to change, many were also brought together. However, they'd never know that things had changed. To them, their lives had always been this peaceful. Hey, let me get this straight, Trish. King Velasquez offered you a job. Yeah, I was just as shocked as you are. I mean, can you believe this is true? Well, no. But probably for different reasons. Are you gonna accept his offer? Of course. This is the best thing that's ever happened. I'll definitely get to perfect my art, and I'll make sure to advertise your tavern. Oh, there's no need for that. Don't want you breaking any rules. We can handle things on our own. I guess you're right. I did put up an hiring sign, though. Figured you need some extra help. Thanks, that's really nice of you. I appreciate everything you've done for us. Just then, someone knocks at the tavern door. If you'll excuse me, Trish. He leaves the conversation and answers the door. A friendship that lasted a lifetime would form that day. Welcome to Wayfarer Tavern, sir. What can I do for you on this fine day? Oh, hey there! I saw a job posting outside, actually. Was wondering if it's still available. That's my vintage Conrad voice. The high-pitched one. While others stayed in Riley, others moved away. Terra was now a bustling world full of opportunity. But even if there was distance, many remained united. Kabu, it's so good to see you again. I was just about to write you, actually. Can't believe you managed to surprise me. He hugs his friend, and they share a moment of joy. They didn't know why, but they became great friends, as if something inside of them called to one another. Perhaps remnants of their tragedy had stayed with them. Kayleen, not for long. People are starting to stare, but it's good to see you too, my friend. The embraces broke in and they both wear large smiles. So what brings you here, Kabu? Surely it's business of some sort? Yeah, you're right, but it requires your input actually. Player wants to reevaluate some pricing. Oh, I can help with that. I did the same thing with my boss. I knew you'd never let me down. So this is a matter of produce. Citizens think we're overcharging. They walk down the streets, staying close as they talk. Oh, that's definitely a tough one. That kind of stuff is a necessity. It's easy to charge more for that. We dealt with that a while ago too, but I think we settled on a nice price. At least the citizens seem to enjoy it. So much has changed, you know. Getting a new governor will do that, but he's been very popular with the people. Oh, I keep forgetting, your town elected a new leader. What'd you say his name was again? It's Riley. Huh. Riley became the governor of another town. It seems even in this world, new enemies were friends. Souls that were lost had the chance to shine again. This changed the direction of many people's lives, including those who would otherwise cling to the past. Wait, did I actually get it correctly? Trish always told me that was wrong. I'm really confused now, PB. I guess we did have our differences. It's just cleaning glass, though. If you damage them, we can buy more. She did most of the damaging, actually. I wonder what the king saw in her. I guess she made good drinks or something. Maybe we'll never know. Velasquez rules in mysterious ways. Just focus on Tavern 8. Alright. So what do I do next? I mean, all the glass is clean now. Let's wipe the floors and wipe the windows. You've done way too much, Fidget. Just relax and take a breather. I don't want you burning yourself out. Just then, another visitor arrives at the tavern. They gently knock on the door and Fidget smiles. Home a little earlier today. Don't worry, I'll get it, PB. He turns to the door, leaving his brother behind. As he opens it, the smiling face of his mother awaits. He leaps into her arms, and she softly kisses his cheek. It was an embrace that he never wanted to end. It seems that in this moment, everything was fine. Not just for Fidget, but for the galaxy as a whole. Terra went on to live a long and prosperous life, and those who lived there were... And those who were there lived a... And those who lived there... Why is this such a hard line for me to read? A better future that they always deserved. Endymion and Endymion and Rhydon went on to carry out their mission. They performed with honor and stopped the massive sweat. Feeling guilty, however, Velasquez came clean. He told the Galactic Senate what they had planned. Instead of punishment, however, they were rewarded. The Galactic Senate wanted to hire their services. Together, they founded a new branch of government. Agents, dedicated to covertly diffusing threats. They would forever be remembered as the founders. Endymion and Rhydon became a vital part of history. After their passing, they were used as a measure. Everyone admired to do as much good in the galaxy as them. Dusk and Sam continued to serve as Terra's ambassadors. Their time was devoted to enhancing quality of life. Terra's standing in the galactic community was high. Happiness and peace were commonplace in this world. Eventually, they were asked to serve the core worlds. Over time, they came to rule the Galactic Senate. Guess you could say they are the Senate. It's their job to rule over the annual deliberations. Henceforth, their ideas were never discarded again. Player and Kabu continued to gather in the town of Riley. It became known for its peaceful and affordable life, but as time passed, old age took the life of Player. His son ran in the election and secured leadership. He maintained the town his father worked to create, but in the end he was able to make it even better. Riley became a home for the more upper-class citizens, a far cry from its more humble beginnings in poverty. Conrad was hired and began working at the tavern. He served out his days as a loyal denizen of Riley. He lived a small, happy life of complete peace. He'd never experienced the danger of battle, even though he's got his knives on still. PB2 lived a quiet life of happiness, running the tavern with Conrad. They made a fortune. As Riley rose in rank, so did their revenue. Eventually, it became the most luxurious bar on Terra. Trish served Velasquez for the rest of her days. Over time and with practice, she perfected her art. She was responsible for lots of tourism to the castle. Everybody wanted to taste her beautiful concoctions. And to them, the castle gates remained forever open. The most unlikely duo I imagined. I forgot, Kayleen ended up teaming up with Riley. Kayleen served with Riley for many years to come, but much like Claire, old age got the better of him. Running for office, Kayleen succeeded his boss. Him and his best friend had both become governors. They promptly united both of their towns as one. In the future, it would be known as New Riley. That's funny, because she totally trounced on the New Terra idea in the beginning of the game. Together, they led their home to prosperity, and they were remembered for many years to come. Fidget remained under the tutelage of his mother. She was considered one of the brightest minds on Terra. However, this time, the Exodus project never happened. She was not claimed, and they lived together in joy. She was responsible for many technological advances, and as they got older, she taught her son her ways. She did pass away, but Fidget was able to let go. He went on to continue her work and aid the galaxy. It was a harsh truth that nobody could live forever. This even rang true for the immortal King Velasquez. He was remembered as Terra's greatest leader, taught in every school for generations to come. In that sense, maybe he truly was immortal. The annals of time never forgot such men. Terra went on to experience an eternal peace. They lived forever in harmony with the galaxy. Earth, however, would remain largely unchanged. It was introverted, concerned with its own matters. It would be a while before they entered the galactic community. But life still changed, and all for the better. Why is my... I'm like checking out my CPU because I'm noticing the game's like running a little laggy. And it's like, why is this game using up so much CPU? It's using my RPG. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get back to the... With the sacrifice of Exodus, tragedies were averted. This left things free to proceed as they were meant to. Hype escalated as the launch of Clasis Tour arrived. But due to these changes, there was only one winner. Absolutely not! I forbid it! I can't just let you go out alone. Remember what happened the last few times? I even had a nightmare where you got strangled in your sleep. But Singe... I'm just kidding. But Singe... Oh, I really want to. I should be there to greet him personally. Especially after all the pop star he drank. You'll have plenty of time to meet him. But it'll have to be later on. Rook and Jade will be picking him up. And I'm sorry, but that's final. You know how the press can get Clace? I don't want you in the spotlight just yet. Clace slumped down in his chair, sad at this news. In his mind, he should greet the contest winner. After all, the entire thing was his idea. Fine. But you should let them take the limo. At least do that for me, alright? Otherwise, it'll be boring for him. I don't think you heard me properly. We must avoid undue attention. We'll save it all for the tour launch. Please, just let them take the limo. Imagine if you won such a huge contest. You'd be let down if you got anything else. You're the one who said this was great PR. Do you want to seem cheap to everybody? By all means, send in a tiny little boxcar on wheels. Singe groans, resting his face in his hands. Fine, I'll give them the limo. But I'm not doing this happily. At least let the record show that. Yeah, but you don't do anything happily. So, just typical Singe, right? An awkward silence ensues before they start laughing. But seriously, let's focus here. You should probably tell Imwe what's up. He loves hanging out in that limo, right? Yeah, I'll do it. He'll be so happy to go along. Who was the contest winner again? His name's Keela. As many things changed, some new bonds were forged. Wounds of the past would never again be reopened. They worked with fervor and effort as the tour approached. But even the most dedicated workers deserve some rest. So, I guess this is it, A last day to relax and unwind. Tomorrow the tour starts in force. Yeah, you said it, Jade. I wish we had more time to relax. Things are going to get pretty busy. Won't be that bad in the end. Traveling the world is fun and prospect, and you know, we'll get to do it together. Ooh. He smiles at Jade, and she smiles back. So, why'd you pick this place? You had to know I hate water. You're up to something, aren't you? No way. I'm offended. Why do I have ulterior motives? I'm a man of pure heart and spirit. With an impeccable sense of humor, too. Come on, Rook, spill the beans. Rook walks to the railing and looks in the water. He waves Jade over, and she joins in on observing. Again, I hate water. I could think of something that hates it more. Something that's no longer needed, either. Oh yeah? What's that? Rook smiles and walks to the opposite railing. With a running start, he throws his tablet in the water. Oh, shit. There goes the tablet. It hits far away, and they can hear it impact loudly. What did you do that for? He turns around and embraces Jade with a smile. She's caught off guard and starts giggling. A blush appears on her face at the sudden advance. Because I have everything I need right here. Okay, Rook, you get a grade A in cheesy romance. Some girls just really love that kind of stuff. They share a kiss, alone on the quiet dock. Their only witness, the slowly setting sun. It brings with it the end of a special day, and the beginning of something even more special. Though history has changed, many things stay the same. This rang true with guitarists Shock and Rocker. They were relaxing backstage while dusting off awards, and living with the hope that they might get more. So, you ready for the big show? I've been practicing overtime now. Lots of critics are impressed this time. Yeah, I suppose I'm ready, but I don't care about the critics. They take the fun out of everything. I play because it's my passion, Shock. I don't do it to get evaluated. To me, the music brings happiness. Are you calling me vain or something? I play to impress the entire world. Not everyone is as talented as we are. Of course not. You're not vain. Some people just like that kind of validation. Just like staying in the shadows. I'm grateful to have this chance. He cracks open a puff star and starts chugging. He swallows it and lets out a refreshing sigh. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like one? No thanks. I quit a while back now. While some remained in the shadow, others found light, but it was under much better circumstances than before. With a chance to debut her scales, Daz practiced hard. Yeah, anyway, I get to sing for everybody. I wrote a song and I'll do my best. But I'm the greatest piano player. That's so cool. I'm proud of you. You know, people call my brother stubborn, but he fights for things to help others. Just like he did to help me. Aww. Daz smiles, knowing the story of Inoue's adoption. She practices her dance moves while he watches in awe. Wow, Daz, you're really good at that. Not even Clays could pull that move off. Don't forget me when you're a celebrity. She laughs, but she's secretly hopeful. Deep inside, she hopes to impress at the concert. Her piece is somber, showing off her potential, composed from memories from deep inside her heart. I don't think I'll ever forget you, Imoue. Something tells me you're here to stay, but I need to practice now. Is that okay? Of course. Don't even worry about it. I have to go take a trip anyways. I'm picking up the contest winner. Wow, that's pretty exciting stuff. Would you tell him I said hello? Sure, but under one condition. You name it. I want you to teach me how to dance. One day, I'll take over for my brother, and I want to be just as famous as you two. Okay, let's start fast-forwarding these fade-outs. The future of many were headed in uncertain directions. However, some were left to embrace their destiny. Arriving in Tokyo, they wanted to protect everyone, but they knew not what grand fate awaited them. Fukumoto here, live from Tokyo. Breaking news, folks, a new visitor, the CEO of Armstrong Incorporated. And thank you so much for giving us your time. The viewers will have lots of questions, especially about the nature of your visit. Unfortunately, that's a secret. You understand what my business is like, but nobody should fear for their safety. Words of wisdom, if I ever heard them. Tell us, Akira, about your situation. You are thrust into leadership so fast. Do you have anything to say about that? Viewers wonder about your inheritance, that and the disappearance of your family. He pushes the microphone towards Akiron's face. Akiron pushes back, clearly feeling violated. No comment, I'm afraid. It's far too much speculation. I'm just focusing on performing admirably. As serious as ever, I see you. Very well, I certainly trust you. Armstrong has done so much good. America is much safer in your hands, and soon, maybe Japan will be too. We'll await a more formal announcement. So, is Archaron still the master of the Ark in this new reality? The speculation. Acheron nods and smiles, happy that he backed off. He wasn't about to reveal the reason he was in Tokyo. It was something he'd announce at a later date. However, he knew Japan would love what he had to say. The debut of the World Tour came closer and closer. And on the best day of his life, Kila arrived. But this time around, he is more than a new man. Winning this contest gave him a large sense of hope. Are you too sure you don't need any help? Please tell me it's no trouble at all. I'd have for you to hurt yourself, Keela. Oh no, please don't worry. I've been through much worse, trust me. It's the best I felt in years. He coughs, placing another hand over his mouth. He carries with him a device that assists his breathing. Had things been any other way, Keela would have been bedridden. But winning this contest meant the world to him. You really should have brought a guardian. Didn't you say you had a twin brother? I'm only worried for your safety, Keela. Please don't call on me, Rook. And yeah, I have a brother. He's even prepared to come for me. I know I'm really sick, but it's okay. I'll make sure not to cause any trouble. This will be the best year of my whole life. Rook smiles and leads Keela to the exit. But he had he had an ever-watchful eye on his sickly friend. He guaranteed both his safety and fun, but deep down inside, this feels familiar to him. Well then, you ready for some fun? He's even fought to give you a limo. We'll be going on a tour in style, Keela. Wow, that's fantastic. You really did that for me? I can't wait to thank him in person. He coughed some more at his overexcitement, but he knew he wouldn't be sick for much longer, now with all this hope and support. It would play a vital role in his speedy recovery. Is that everybody on Terra? I think that's everybody on Terra. With everything lined up, it was finally time. Clay stood backstage, trembling in fear. Daz joined him, scared of her big debut. Shock and Rocker, however, enjoyed the shadows. If they don't like me, I put my heart and soul into this song. I'd be crushed if they didn't applaud. Oh man, I feel the same way. I had some nightmares last night too. Something about time travel and looping and death and crazy things. After the song, they were just silent. That's horrible. Just play up the crowd, Daz. Tell them how good they are. Say you love all of them. Do I say Tokyo was the best city ever? Only if you want to be cliché. But I guess we're no stranger to those. It's old-fashioned, but it works. You're singing a solo song, right? Ask them to take out their lighters. It's great to unite the audience. Yeah, it's a solar song. I hope I don't ruin your energy. I won't worry about it, Daz. I'm retiring after this tour anyways. This is your chance to prove yourself. Retiring? Oh, you must be hearing things. I didn't say anything of the sort. Anyways, I think to call us out soon. I'm so nervous. Clay places his hand on Daz's shoulder. He recalls when he was in her exact situation, but in the end, everything worked out. They laughed at this anxiety when it was over. Listen, Daz, everything will be fine. I've heard your voice. It's beautiful. Let's go sing our hearts out. By the way, I want to say before we get into the fourth part of this epilogue, the only way you can see Clace is through the good ending. So if you're stuck with the seal everything off ending, you don't get to see Clace. It's, yeah. So egotistical, right? I'll let this one slow fade out. When their names are called, they ran out on stage. The crowd was pumped, applauding almost immediately. They went on to give a performance for the ages. For once, everything was perfect in their lives. Until the sequel. They never know the true cost of their perfection. Do we get the... Yep. Here it comes. Call out the hip-hop ending song. It's actually really, I like this song, it's really nice. The World Tour went on to launch with a big bang. It was talked about for years to come, breaking records. But true to his word, Clace retired when it was over. However, he still remained in the industry he loved. He continued to tour with Daz as she performed, all while teaching his brother Inui how to sing. With Daz's dancing lessons, he was sure to succeed. Also, that's how you do irony. Guy spends the entire game dead, and then this is supposed to be the song one of the songs he's singing at the concert, I believe. So, like, he spends the entire game dead, and then is brought back into new reality, and is singing about how awesome it is to be. That's just that. There you go. There's irony for you. Singe went on to manage idols for the rest of his days. After Clace, it was Daz, and it never ended. He was devoted to the business well into his old age. However, one day, that old age got the better of him. He left behind a legacy in the entertainment industry. He'd never be directly remembered for any of it. To the world, he was a man behind the curtain, but he loved the peace, and was fine with that. Shock and Rocker wouldn't always remain in the back. When Clays retired, they started their own careers. Their popularity would even surpass some pop idols, and until they retired, they always topped the charts. Daz lived up to the bargain, teaching Inouye how to dance. When Clays retired, Inouye was already well trained. It only seemed natural that he'd follow his brother. Becoming a pop idol, he also toured the world. After Shinja's passing, he needed to make a change. He set his eyes on managing and took Shinja's place. How else could he repay the man he saw as father? He maintained a legacy he worked so hard to create. Fukumoto quickly gained popularity for his unique style. Eventually, he was offered a job with a huge network. Moving to America, he pursued his biggest dream, and never again resorted to tabloid journalism. Happy to hear that. While Karen was in Tokyo to test a new product, there's a way to subdue without any chance of harm. Armstrong Incorporated became enforcers of peace, and it would never again use death as a tool. He was applauded for the peace he gave Earth, but as most do, he set his sights even higher. One night, fate took him in a drastically new direction, and from that day on, he was never seen again. How mysterious. Rook and Jade's love blossomed as they toured the world. Each new stop brought several romantic hotspots. They served Singe loyalty until his fateful passing. After that, they wed into a life of peace. After Clays retired, Daz took the spotlight. She was the idol to beat, gaining a massive following. World tour after world tour, she kept the momentum. Platinum records and a lifetime of glory awaited her. But she knew that this was mostly thanks to Clays. His decision to step down actually raised her up. She'd be forever thankful for what he had done, and they remained friends for the rest of their lives. Kayla's hope was renewed, and he was as happy as ever. After the tour ended, he remained friends with everyone. He beat his illness and lived a long and happy life. Him and his brother Eddie were henceforth inseparable. They founded several charity organizations together. No one would have to suffer like Kayla did. At least, that was their end goal in life. And over time, they helped find many cures. Cures to what? Earth would remain isolated for a long time to come. They didn't have the technology to join the galaxy, but this never stopped them from living happily. And for the rest of its existence, Earth was peaceful. I don't know how I saw all of this, to be honest. As far as I know, I was supposed to be dead. But I smiled as I saw the future I left behind. It seemed that in the end, everyone was happy. And that is the friggin' end of this story. We did it, boys. We did it, guys, girls, guys, boys. Everybody in between, fellow Dazzlers and new players alike. I mean, if I had to rate it, I probably would. I tend to use the Angry Joe scale. I think, as I mentioned in my Winds of Change video, so 5 to me is average. I need to give it like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. Honestly, like if you haven't seen Winds of Change yet, go check out Winds of Change. I'll put a little thing right up there. Go check that out. It blows this game away in terms of pacing, production value, everything. It's just so much better. But it's not bad. I like some of the things they were doing with some of the characters. I do like... the use of music was amazing. All the music that has been used, with the exception of this end theme, another end theme, It's Good to Be Alive, the one we just heard, and the main theme, and a final outro theme, was all stock RPG Maker music, so... for the most part, it fit pretty good. Just how overwritten it was, and other things like how passive the main character Josh was just such a led around by the leash, essentially, which kind of is a little bit different from Winds. And Winds of Change, you kind of like, oh wait, here we go. Gotta do special thanks. Special thanks. I want to thank the investors that made this a reality. Your characters will live on forever in my heart. I also want to thank everybody who gave feedback. This game would not be what it is without you. I lastly want to thank you, the player, and the viewer. Viewers, you've supported my dream to continue creating games. This game is dedicated to all of you. I think that's another thing that changed my mind from Clays being a tosser. It was like, I don't know. I can sense a pure sincerity behind those lines. Yeah, not bad for a first attempt, though. There it is. the end. It's kind of nice to get through it again, though. I'm not upset or I feel like I wasted my time. It was nice. So you're gonna go away, Finn? You have to wait until the song's over? Also, I believe the song that was playing in the background was supposed to be, what's her face? Supposed to be Daz's song that she does. There's another ending you can get where Shock and Daz do a duet, and I think there's one where Shock just sings too, but we'll see. What's this? A post-credit stinger? I tremble. My entire body is overwhelmed with sensation. I have no idea what just happened or where I am. I pant heavily and take in my surroundings. It's the terminus, but wasn't it on a crash course? Hey, Joshua. Glad to see you awake. When you blacked out, I feared the worst. Leo stands before me and offers his hand. I take it without hesitation, and he helps me stand up. I look out the window of the bridge, astonished. There are billions of stars shining together. Look at all those worlds, Joshua. It was you who gave them life again, connected to live in harmony forever. He smiles as we walk towards the window. I press my hand against it, looking at what I did. I changed reality, united the entire galaxy. But for some reason, I saw the future of everything. Yeah, I expected as much. Your sight has been twisted, no longer limited to 2 worlds. You can view the entire galaxy, both in its current and future state. Just think of what we're capable of. Maybe we should go and get everybody. It might be good to have some company. And honestly, I kind of grew fond of them all. I'm not sure how to respond to that. I mean, we did go through a lot together, but the future I witnessed was so happy. If I changed things up, it could cause tragedy. Besides, I'm not even sure if they would remember me. So much has changed, that wasn't on any of their minds. If we went to recruit them, they'd call us insane. Rather than acknowledging my fear, he gives me a gift. 2 blades merged into one, but it looks different, don't you think? Like its source of power has changed. It's a sword I held earlier, but purified. Instead of black and red, it's colored differently. Now it bears an ornate white and a beautiful gold. My man, when's it change, fans? What does that remind you of? I could feel like it could be a source of good in the galaxy. We have lots of exploring to do, and we can continue changing history. It would be nice to do it with friends. So tell me, what should we do? Should we get the group back together, or should we leave things as they are? I think long and hard before I answer Rayo. It seems I have the future of everyone in my hands. And it's time for me to decide what happened next. What kind of future will you create? Yo. Let's get the band back together. Why? Because I felt like it. Well then, this will certainly be fun. But Joshua, we have a lot to talk about. Luckily, I know where we can waste time. Soon I felt an all too familiar sensation. I embraced it, filled with joy that I survived, and filled with wonder at this galaxy's potential. How long was this one for? I forgot. And that is the end of Major Minor, at least for one route. There are different routes you can go through. There's like lots of different ways you can go through the game. We didn't even get to see it Claire on this playthrough. You can see her if you go to the maid cafe in the beginning of the game, which she'll turn up later. But yeah, that's it. That is that's Major Minor. Final verdict. I'll be nice to give it a 6 out of 10. But yeah, that's about it. I do have a few more Major Minor videos coming down the pipeline. Like I mentioned, I am going to do I'll show off what the neutral ending is like. The neutral ending is affected by like your choices in the game. The true ending unfortunately isn't, but the neutral ending is. Things can change in that one, so that'll just be what the ending would have been like if I picked it on my thing, because I'm not going to go through the game again and change up all the choices to get the different ending combinations. And then there is the Philosophy of Major Minor video. That is something I'm going to be doing, as well as a video that kind of goes over the connections between this game and Winds of Change. And that's kind of why I do like those references where it's like those who are watching both series have seen. I kind of like have things back and forth, like the end thing, the little guitar riff that was heard. That I use that in the intro for my Winds of Change Let's Plays. So that's about it. I got nothing else to say other than remember, guys, if you enjoyed this Let's Play, rate, comment, and subscribe. For more, remember, if you become a Dazzler, ring the bell and become a Ringling Dazzler to get notified, because I upload things whenever I feel like it. I'm going to have to find a new game to release on Mondays, too, now. Whoops. We'll see what the next game is. We have a Ko-fi, Patreon, all that fun stuff. So, my name is Razojosar. And thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and have a good one. And to those of you who watched from beginning to end, thanks a lot. Like, seriously. People who... I don't want to sound cliche, but it means a lot. You know, when people watch the video, they comment, they thumbs up, they talk about it. It means a lot. I think what I have 415, 16 subscribers right now. To all those of you who are watching this at this moment, even if you aren't watching it, a big thanks. Just even clicking the subscribe button, it means a lot to us at Nico and Friends. So, thanks for sticking around and handling our nonsense, guys. We'll see you all wherever our journey takes us. Take care, everybody.